This line open up Browns -6.5. It's down to 6. So who do you like in this game?
Yeah, so I don't want to bet this game, but I'm going to be on the Browns here. If the Browns weren't going to be without their two best defensive players, I probably would have a much different opinion of this game. But Myles Garrett's going to stay on the COVID list, and Denzel Ward's dealing with a calf injury. So those two things make it hard to predict how this defense is going to play against Jake Luton. Luton had 4 interceptions last week against the Steelers, but obviously the Browns defense is not nearly as good as the Steelers defense. So I don't know if I want to trust that stop unit to contain Jake Luton, because he did get a garbage time cover against the Texans, and then played well enough against the Packers early to get a cover before falling apart late. So it's just too hard to trust the Jaguars at this point, but I don't trust the Browns either. And I think if they were fully healthy, yeah, I'd be all over the Browns, but I could see them just kind of overlooking Jacksonville and being like, hey, we're 6-3, this team's terrible, and then not paying enough attention on defense. So I'm tentatively on the Browns, but I wouldn't bet this game. There's too many variables to bet on a bad defense or a bad quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's too early in the week to say, confidently where I'm going to go with this. You bring up the Denzel Ward injury plus Myles Garrett. So without Ward, they're also missing Greedy Williams. So they're down their top 2 cornerbacks. And I guess the strength of the Jaguars is the receiving core. Especially if Laviska Shenault comes back, they're going to have Shenault plus DJ Chark plus Keelan Cole and Chris Conley, who when he's not dropping passes, he's okay as a 4th receiver. So the Jaguars have some talent at receiver, and they could take advantage of that with the Browns missing cornerbacks. If Gardner Minshew were playing in this game, if he were healthy, I would be all over the Jaguars to win this. But it's so hard to trust Jake Luton. I don't want to do it. But on the other hand, the Browns are going against the Jaguar team that's going to be missing some players. CJ Henderson is injured. Sidney Jones didn't play last week. He has an Achilles injury. I don't know if he's going to come back this week. But if he's out, suddenly the Jaguars are down their top 2 cornerbacks. And it doesn't sound like Josh Allen is going to play either, because he got hurt last week. So the Jaguars are missing tons of players too. So if the Jaguars are missing Jones on top of Henderson and also Josh Allen, I'm going to be on the Browns and probably hope for a no backdoor cover like we saw against Houston. But if the Jaguars are relatively healthy defensively, I think I probably will be on Jacksonville. But either way, I don't think I'm going to bet this game.
Yeah, it just seems too risky to bet. And I think the Jaguars put a few dudes on injured reserve earlier. I think Josh Allen and DJ Hayden were 2 of them. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I know they put 3 guys on IR, and I think they might have put their kicker on the COVID list, which if you've been following the Jacksonville kicker situation like I have, it's gotten ridiculous. So there are a lot of questions with Jacksonville. There are just too many questions with both of these teams unless the injury report reveals something that neither of us is expecting, or that the Jaguars are going to be missing their entire defense or something like that. So I think we're definitely in agreement on this one.
Yeah, these are 2 teams I wanted to bet against this week, and it just sucks that they're playing against each other. It's kind of like last week where Tennessee and Baltimore were playing against each other, and I wanted to bet against both, but you couldn't. And then on the other hand, the Packers and Colts are playing against each other, and I wanted to bet on both teams because they were suddenly healthier. It's just it just didn't match up pretty well. It sucks, but what are you going to do?